Welcome to today's webinar. We are really excited to have three terrific guests with us today to share their stories about how they're advancing excellence in products and reporting around material health. And so just because they're making great products and the reporting is great, we're going with radical. And you'll be the judge of that by the end of this webinar, if that is the case. So the agenda today is we're going to talk about this series this year called Excellence in High Performance Building. For those of you who are new to Sustainable Minds, I'll do a little bit of an intro about who we are and what we do. And then you'll hear from Wendy at the HPDC, followed by Grace from Mohawk, Danny from Bioplastic Solutions. And I think we should have time. I'll be able to show you the Project Builder and Library real-time LEED v5 status reports. So this webinar series is new thematically in 2026, where we have transitioned from focusing on manufacturers with products for which they have invested in product transparency and kind of have that be the kind of central aspect of the story to this year focusing on the actual performance of the products. And of course, they have transparency documentation to support the environmental performance, material health, and low emission contributions or impacts of those products. So each of the series episodes features a different aspect of building types, attributes of building components or assemblies. And here today, we are at our third in the series with 3 to 4 more to come this year. And if you're here today, you'll be on our mailing list. If you like this one, you can attend more. But today, we're going to be focused on discovering how material transparency is becoming more multi-attribute, more integrated, and more product category based. And that is specifically in regards to the reporting aspects of it. And so that's why we're excited to have Wendy as a guest to talk about what the HPDC has always been doing to advance material transparency, and now what they are continuing to do to support material transparency reporting in conjunction with LEED and the new version 5. To illustrate, companies who are really making incredibly healthier materials, we're here to show you how those incredibly healthier materials really win in the reporting end of things, and how actually higher performing, lower impact materials move the needle in project reporting. A little bit about Sustainable Minds. We are the only end-to-end product transparency solutions provider for building product manufacturers making high-performance materials in the design and construction industry today. What does that mean? We are a PCR and EPD program operator, but our focus is on creating understandable and meaningful, and of course, reliable environmental performance and material health reporting. We deliver LCA and material ingredient services. We deliver training and education to manufacturers. And we have built and deliver data through digital and virtual tools to get products into projects with the intent to help transform the built environment. What really makes us different as a program operator from other technical service providers is that we understand that EPDs and material disclosures, even low emitting certificates, are marketing tools that help get manufacturers' products into projects. And so we are very, very focused on creating those documents in the service of getting the manufacturer's brand and products in front of the people expressly looking for those high performance materials so they can get them into their projects and libraries. So in summary, looks like this. We're the only end-to-end product transparency solutions provider for building product manufacturers, and we get your products into projects and libraries, which is great for industry professionals, the architects, engineers, contractors, and owners, because we've made it really easy to come to one place, the transparency catalog, and find all those manufacturers who have high performance materials and the documentation to back them up in every master format section to make it easy to build out projects, collections, libraries. And this is just showing you some of the other deliverables. This is the PCR catalog and our technical services program. This is our unique brand of EPD. We call it a transparency report. We first developed it and delivered them in 2014, so it's been 12 years. And it's a storytelling document that takes the digital data that is the LCA results that is required for an EPD, and we surround it with the information from the manufacturer to tell the stories about what are they actually doing to improve those products and to explain the technical results in the EPD. And then that is all added to the transparency catalog, where you're going to be able to filter and search by the attributes in the master format sections that are relevant to you to find those products. So we work with manufacturers on their entire journey, start to finish. You can see we work with industry associations, largely on PCRs. We work with many manufacturers who also sponsor PCRs to be able to do LCAs and EPDs and ultimately get those products into the catalog. And of course, we work with many, many manufacturers who have already those documents. And so, we say having products with transparency documents gives a manufacturer a competitive edge, but equally important is the delivery system that puts them in front of project teams and specifiers. And because we are a technical service provider, we understand and deliver these technical services. We believe in making the information in those documents understandable, not just make the documents findable, but make the data actionable to drive specification. So I just want to show you, Bioplastic Solutions has been a great long-time customer of ours. Back in 2024, we developed their first and only transparency report. This is their EPD. Danny's going to talk about the product so you understand how it's made. But it's an incredibly interesting story about how they've created the product, how it's used, who's using it now. But you can see in a transparency report, it's delivered as the first digital EPD. It's delivered in web pages, in PDF, and we deliver every transparency report into the EC3 tool in a digital format. So we have 3 deliverables for every transparency report that we deliver. And this is just, I grabbed these screenshots quickly towards the end, how getting a very small company like Bioplastic Solutions into the transparency catalog with their EPD, and you'll see their HPD results. Danny's going to talk about that. So a really tiny company, year over year, they're getting over 1,000 to 1,500 views in search results. This is just the last 12 months. But in the last 3 years, they've gotten almost 4,000 views from very, very targeted users looking for products like theirs. And in the last 12 months, that product has been added to 6 projects or libraries of people building projects and libraries. So we're going to see that number continue to increase, and I think it will after this webinar is over. So in the transparency catalog today, we have over 2,000, almost 2,400 manufacturers and industry associations. So, in the context of that much content, that many master format sections, all of the transparency documents, Bioplastic Solutions is getting, almost their unfair share of visibility. And you can imagine the kind of visibility that Mohawk is getting. Again, we really care about better integration of partner data. And I'm going to talk about that in regards to the HPDC. We've been partners for a very long time, but again, we believe it's critical to make the information in the transparency document understandable and easy to use, not just make the document easy to find. Now, we've integrated the CMF. We've been a tech partner for over a year. What we've done is every single document in the transparency catalog is tagged with its impact area contributions. And so as you filter and search by the attributes that you care about, you can see we've labeled the impact area contributions for each document type. And now you can see here how we've built the filter for HPDs. We took 3 of the additional listings that the HPDC added to the builder and all of the pre-check options. And the reason we added these 2 specifically is because we have declare labels and we have cradle to cradle certificates. And so if those are restricted chemical lists that you want to apply to your material selection values, and there isn't a red list free declare label or a cradle to cradle certificate, you can filter all of the HPDs by those that have screened to show they have none of these chemicals on these lists. And you can always see in the results the confirming information about what you've filtered on. So not only do we make the information kind of understandable, but we make it visual so that people don't have to wonder, oh, I searched for this. Is that really what I'm getting in my results? So a little bit about the CMF integration and how it's being used out there in the world. The AIA Materials Pledge accepts products with any documents in the entire list of CMF documents, and there's over 100. Whereas LEED has developed a very select list of document types. There's only about 16 document types, but with lots of variation specific to the result. So you can see all of these different results for cradle to cradle. There's several definitions for HPD. Wendy's going to talk about those, declare label, EPDs, a few others. But what LEED has done is they've applied a score to each impact area that the document contributes to. And further, what's also a little bit different is that some of these documents, they've changed the impact area contribution. It's not the same as the straight CMF. So now if you think about how we manage data in the transparency catalog, every single document in the transparency catalog knows its impact area contribution for the straight CMF and how it will show up in the material pledge report. And it also knows its LEED v5 document score and impact area contribution for those reports. And so that's how in real time, when users add products to projects, it will automatically build these report views. The first being just a straight CMF view of the entire project, this material pledge view that shows contributions to the categories, the documents of all the products. And then we've added actually 4 LEED v5 reports, the BPSP, the 2 pilot credits for MEP and structure, hardscape, and other, and also the low emitting report. And so we'll take a quick look at those at the end of this webinar. So with that, Wendy, please tell us about what you're doing over there. It's very exciting, and we're excited to, as one of your technology partners, we're excited to take advantage of what you're rolling out.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are. Good evening, perhaps, if you're joining us from other parts of the world. Delighted to be here again, Terry, for another webinar. Great series of webinars that we've done over the years with you and Sustainable Minds. And as Terry said, we've had a long-term partnership with Sustainable Minds, one of our very first API data partners, and all of what you've just heard about making the data understandable and actionable is one of the reasons we really enjoy working with you, Terry, and Sustainable Minds. So I'm delighted to be here today and be able to tell you a little bit more about some of the latest work that we are doing on materials transparency at HPDC. So if we can go to the next slide. Many of you on the call are familiar with HPDC and the work that we've been doing for well over a decade to deliver material transparency with an emphasis, a very strong emphasis on material health. And that is how we all started out, I think, on this journey. We're reporting on ingredients of products and their association with human and environmental health information was a real need. Over a decade ago, if you wanted to find out information about that, it was a very arduous task. Over the past decade, we've been able to put in place the HPD Open Standard, which is a very detailed specification for exactly how to report which pieces of information that, based on the experts that we have been working with for a very long time, which come from our community of practice. HPDC is a member organization. We have over 350 organizational members, and we have quite a number of other companies that contribute by participating with creating HPDs in our HPD builder. That's a very strong core of the leading companies, whether from the architecture design, engineering, contracting, developer owner community, manufacturer community, and then broad participation from many of the different ratings and certifications that all contribute ultimately to everyone being able to understand and advance the practice of material sustainability in the built environment. So our organization works with a broad spectrum of everyone. We're not a rating or certification. We're simply a mechanism for understanding what information needs to be reported in order to understand material sustainability, and then delivering the tools, the databases, the APIs, and all of the technology necessary so that everyone can have that information available to them.
And can I just point out here, Wendy, this
Yeah.
stat is staggering. 400 new HPDs published per month. That's crazy.
Yeah, you know, Terry, it's been really amazing to watch, because oftentimes with new technology, as you know, coming from the technology field, I do too, what happens is there's a limited applicability of whatever it is. And so as the base of users grow, actually the rate at which new things are happening starts to diminish. What we've seen is the rate at which new things are happening, new HPDs being published, is growing. Yeah, and so, in fact, we're pushing up on getting up to over 500 now as our average. So
well, let me just throw in here that not only can you find all those HPDs on the HPD repository, you can find all those HPDs in the transparency catalog as well, just as I showed.
And that's been one of our goals from the beginning, is that the information, so once a manufacturer puts that information into the HPD builder, we have a way of accessing it that's open and free to everyone. So it's public once the manufacturer publishes that. And we work with all the different groups through our API, the automated data exchange, not to use abbreviations, that gets that data into programs such as Sustainable Minds, where it can take on even more value through all the benefits that Terry has been explaining that they deliver. What I want to touch on quickly is the strategic partnership that HPDC and USGBC have had together since 2018. We've worked together for far longer than that, but in 2018 really announced a concerted effort to deliver materials transparency, particularly around material health, but also increasingly as the scope in LEED has brought into a more multi-attribute approach. That's what we're going to talk about today. And so you can see all the different aspects where we work together in a strategic partnership to deliver value to our community, all of you and many more that are on the line. So as LEED v5 came along, we started to look at what we had been doing and the success that we have had with our support of LEED v4. We developed the LEED pre-check. Many of you are probably familiar with that. Terry highlighted that and what she said earlier. What that does is it goes through a manufacturer's HPD and it evaluates it for alignment with the criteria of the material ingredients credit in first LEED v4 and then LEED v4.1. And the result of that has been astounding because it's very easy to understand that a product has the data that aligns with that requirement. You can look at one piece of data on an HPD and understand that immediately. And so the adoption and the use of the material ingredients credit in LEED has grown dramatically to now over 80% of projects in LEED v4.1 are actually having the material ingredients credit option 1, which is disclosure, which is about someone has that document that aligns with those criteria. So as LEED v5 came about and the multi-attribute, so material health is actually a multi-attribute tool, but it's not as broad as including embodied carbon and some aspects of circularity, waste, and other things, social equity. And so what's happened is that people want to evaluate that full range of data. In order to use the material health information, I really need to know all of this other information as well. So we teamed with USGBC to extend our materials transparency capabilities to encompass that entire range of capability that is in the building product selection and procurement credit in LEED. And Terry showed you that a few minutes ago. So what I want to do is touch on what the features of this new capability are so that everybody here understands that. And I will just say up front that the results of this are all available through Sustainable Minds through our API, so that the benefit to a manufacturer of using these capabilities is extending to our API data partners. So this LEED v5 BPSP, what we call it the scoring tool, is available to support manufacturers in our HPD builder. So we've extended the capability there. I will point out that you can enter, there's additional data that can now be entered so that all of those documents, and Terry did a good job explaining the scope of all those documents, whether they're for the align with the CMF or the LEED BPSP credit or any other documents that are related to material sustainability, can now be put into the HPD builder. And so what that enables is a complete scoring, including any data on HPDs that are already there, but all the other certifications. And in fact, at the request of USGBC, we created this capability so even if there's not an HPD, all the other documents are able to be entered in to this tool. And so that gives a manufacturer the opportunity to create a complete data set that supports, in this case, the LEED v5 BPSP credit, and dynamically see the scoring as they're entering that information into the HPD builder tool. And then when they have that document set completed, they can actually publish that, and it will be housed in the HPD public repository. So anyone, a customer, anyone could access it there, and it will be able to be exported to our API data departments like Sustainable Minds. So this creates the opportunity for a manufacturer to create that data set, put all the proper documents associated with the proper product one time, and have that reused, just like HPDs have always worked. It's the same capability extended to this broader range of documentation. And so we have this available to manufacturers now in the HPD builder. All the things I just talked about can be done. We have just in the last week or so released this so that it is coming through the API to our data partners like Sustainable Minds. And for project teams, there are a few capabilities that are already available, and we are going to be releasing more during a little bit later in this quarter, so that all of this information can be accessed directly through the repository, as well as in any of the API data partners that are using this data. It's completely optional for manufacturers to participate in this. And but we think that can have a lot of benefits, because you get that dynamic scoring as you're entering the data. You can see right in that tool all of what is going on, and it's the same interface that if you're already an HPD Builder user, over 1,000 manufacturers use the HPD Builder to do materials transparency reporting. So it's just going to work exactly the same way. You get to add these additional documents in. So there is a new capability called, we have, I think, the next slide that sort of blows up. This is, we have the compliance library next. So the compliance library is a new capability that is going to enable you to manage all those documents. So people have been reporting, manufacturers have been reporting certifications and ratings since the beginning of HPDs. There's a lot of data about that because it's important to know that information if you're evaluating material health. Now we have built this new compliance library that enables you to manage those documents. So once you enter it in, it can be used in any HPD, because some documents apply to multiple HPDs. You don't have to re-enter it. You can manage it. You can update it very easily. And also we've added expiry date notifications that will let you know if some of the documents are expiring. You can download the document set for whatever use that you wish to make of it. And so you really, you can have a CSV. If you have all your documents on one CSV, you can upload that, very easy to use. So that's a new capability that will work for just the HPDs alone, and also support things like the LEED BPSP credit. So now we have the little blow up of what the actual report that a manufacturer sees, and it gives you that detailed feedback of where the pieces of data from your different documents are scoring in the different criteria areas of the LEED BPSP credit. So all this is available to manufacturers to start using right now. You can export, you can publish your data and get that whole thing going. So we really encourage you to think about that. If you're already an HPD Builder user, just log into your account. You'll be able to see these new capabilities. Also, the API data partners, the scoring data set. So when a manufacturer is done and they're ready and they publish and make public that information, it will go to our API data partners like Sustainable Minds and be available for use within your platform. And then for project teams, as I said, we have more capabilities coming. It will be part of the HPDC dashboard. So if you are familiar with that already, if you're an HPDC member, you can log in and you can find that dashboard capability. If you are not familiar with that, log into the HPD public repository and you'll see a pop-up, and that will get you started on how to get access to the dashboards. So we're really excited about all these new capabilities. Just in summary, we have a lot to get started with now. If you're a manufacturer, log in, give us let us know, contact us if you have any questions. We're here to help you. And for our API data partners, Terry, I can't wait to see what you guys do with all this new data coming your way.
I can't wait to get it, Wendy.
Yeah. Well, we need some manufacturers to enter it and publish it, and then.
Yeah. Well, I think we might be able to scrape up some pilot customers.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Let's work on it. So thank you again for being here, and you know, it's a privilege to work with all of you, and so thanks from all of us at HPDC.
Thank you, Wendy. Well, now let's move on to first hear from Grace from Mohawk, and they have been deeply committed to making healthier materials for many years. They've been creators of HPDs for many years, And Grace is going to tell us about some of the new products that they've brought to market and what's happening over there at Mohawk. So Grace, let's hear from you.
Hi, thanks for the introduction. My name is Grace. I am a sustainability specialist at Mohawk. So at Appalachian State University, I studied sustainable technology with the focus on renewable energy management and energy conservation. I worked at the university's Office of Sustainability for 4 years, and then I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina to work in residential solar as a project manager. From there, I moved to the greater Chattanooga area, where I started this 5-rotational program on the sustainability team. I spent a year working in corporate reporting for Mohawk, and then from there, I rotated over to the F&A sustainability team to work as a sustainability specialist, where I managed sustainability certifications, Living Product Challenge, and I work to drive transparency through third-party disclosures. Mohawk started over 100 years ago in upstate New York along the Mohawk River, and today our headquarters are in Calhoun, Georgia. Flooring North America is one of Mohawk's 3 divisions and includes both commercial and residential flooring across soft and hard surface categories. Oh, next slide. To provide some context, Mohawk Industries has 3 business segments: Global Ceramics, Flooring North America, and Flooring Rest of the World. I work within Flooring North America. Next slide. A couple weeks ago, Mohawk published its 2025 Impact Report. The report highlights the important role that third-party certifications and product declarations play in supporting product transparency. As the report highlights, certifications provide customers and end users with credible, comparable information about a product's performance, environmental impacts, and material health attributes, helping them make more informed decisions. This slide highlights a few examples from Mohawk's sustainability journey and how our efforts can create a positive impact for people, planet, and product performance. Starting with Better for People, Mohawk is committed to supporting the communities where we live and work. One example is our 25-year partnership with Susan G. Komen. In this picture, Mohawk provides pink carpet pads for Komen race walkers, and through our Recover program, those materials can be collected and recycled at end of life, connecting community impact with our commitment to circularity. Next is Better for Planet. Mohawk is committed to actively working on ways to improve our water consumption, decarbonization, and product circularity strategies. One instance is Mohawk supports water.org, and through financial contributions that help expand access to safe water and sanitations to underserved communities. And Better for Performance, we are innovating every day to make products that perform better and last longer, ultimately increasing their life cycle and reducing their impact on landfills. One example is Color Pulse technology, which provides the look of multicolored yarn while eliminating water from the dyeing process. Mohawk's Recover program. Materials are collected directly from job sites and transported to certified recycling and reclamation partners. The result: less waste to landfills, reduced environmental impact, and stronger support for our customer sustainability goals. With Recover, end-of-life flooring is given a second life, helping close the loop and build a more sustainable future. The reclamation program has diverted more than 160 million pounds of carpet from the landfill since 2006. Recover certificate. You're given this once your Recover project is complete. You can use that certificate to support LEED, WELL, and other green building certifications by documenting material diversion efforts. Recently, we won an award at the 2026 Flooring Sustainability Summit Architecture and Design Conference. we won an award for a flooring project that transformed a routine flooring replacement into a model of circular economy by recovering nearly 94,000 square feet of existing flooring and recycling it into new flooring products. This project demonstrates how large-scale commercial renovations can reduce waste, conserve resources, and support a healthier interior environment. Mohawk has partnered with Sustainable Minds to publish product disclosures across our commercial flooring portfolio as a part of our commitment to material health and ingredient transparency. Today, we have red list-free declare labeled products along with HPDs, EPDs, and indoor air quality certifications. These disclosures provide customers with credible information about product ingredients, environmental impacts, and health attributes, helping support informed specification decisions. One of the products I want to highlight is Medela Well, which expands the Medela Fleck and Medela Hues collection by offering PVC flooring options alongside traditional homogeneous resilient sheet flooring. This option gives designers more flexibility when selecting materials, allowing them to choose the option that best aligns with their project goals and preferences. Our PVC products are part of Mohawk's commitment to reducing environmental impacts, advancing material health, and supporting a more restorative built environment. So here is a Medela Well installation at Erlanger Baroness Hospital in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Medela Well supports patient-centered spaces with flooring solutions that prioritize safety, comfort, and performance. Here is another example of the same project at Erlanger Baroness Hospital in Chattanooga. An important feature of Medela Well is its ability to be installed with welded seams and healthcare environments. This creates a wall-to-wall and permeable surface that helps support infection control protocols by reducing areas where moisture and contaminants can collect. As a result, it provides a durable flooring solution that supports the cleanliness, hygiene, and performance requirements often needed in healthcare settings. Medela Well is a great example of how product transparency can help support different project priorities. Through disclosures like declare labels, customers can see that the product is free of all red list free chemicals of concerns. EPDs, Beyond Carbon Neutral, and the Recover Take Back program gives customers a more complete understanding of a product's environmental footprint and circularity initiatives. The next product I want to highlight is Hero Rubber. It is one of Mohawk's newest flooring solutions and is made with Nike Grind recycled rubber sourced from end-of-life athletic shoes and manufacturing scrap. Hero Rubber is great for high-performance flooring designed areas and demanded spaces like fitness areas where traction and impact are essential. The product has also received industry recognition for the awards pictured here. The three styles I want to introduce our Original, Vitality, and Access. Original is the signature style made with 30% Nike Grind, the quintessential visual that provides a uniform and cohesive granular rubber look. Vitality is a mid-scale visual with 2 sizes of granules made with 20% Nike Grind. Access is a bold, large-scale visual made with 20% Nike Grind. Here is a showcase of Hero's collection at a Sports Direct store in Liverpool, England. Here is an installation at the National Building Museum in Washington, D.C. And here is another Hero Rubber installation at the National Building Museum in Washington, D.C. Hero Rubber has several disclosures and certifications that help support transparency. The product is declare labeled and red list free, has a third-party verified EPD in progress, and is 4-score certified. Hero also incorporates Nike Grind recycled rubber with recycled content varying across the original, Vitality, and Access collections. Together, these disclosures help provide customers with clear information about the product's material health and environmental attributes. It is performance verified using ASTM test methods and helps show the product's how it performs in real-world applications. So Mohawk is continuously working with our manufacturing teams to improve reporting, partnering with research and design to evaluate lower impact materials, and designing products made with circularity and end-of-life recovery in mind. One of the biggest lessons we've learned is that stakeholder engagement is critical. Product transparency relies on collaboration across the business, from manufacturing and product development to marketing and digital teams. We've also learned that continuous improvement is key. Sustainability data and product attributes evolve over time, so it's important to have a strong process in place to monitor, update, and communicate that information accurately. Thank you guys for your time and learning about our new products and our reporting that we have in the works.
Well, thank you so much. That was super interesting, and that Nike Grind product is very cool. Thanks for sharing that. For those of you attending, just a reminder that when you leave the webinar, there's a short set of questions. If you take the moment to reply, if you would like to hear from anyone from Mohawk or Bioplastic Solutions or Wendy from HPDC, you'll be able to let us know about that there. Feel free to put questions into the questions panel. We'll see about getting those answered in the background, or we'll answer them in a follow-up email to you. You will be getting the recording in an email that will go out the next day or two. You can also request this deck if you're interested in that. And so moving from Mohawk, one of the industry leaders globally in flooring, I'd like to introduce you to Danny Noble, the VP of Proprietary Products from Bioplastic Solutions, to tell you about their small business journey and how it's growing.
I had to take myself off mute there. Thank you, Terry, and thanks again for putting these on and having us today. As she said, I'm Danny Noble, with the VP of Proprietary Products at Bioplastic Solutions. I've been with the company for 10 years in multiple roles, being that we are a smaller company. As Terry mentioned, we kind of wear a lot of hats. So right now I'm working on sales, marketing, website, and a primary focus on the green story and that's providing a green story for our customers, whether that's recycled content, bio-based content, or something like that. I actually started at the company on third shift on the plant floor and worked my way up to sales and then to VP, where I'm at today. I'm passionate about providing a green story around a product on a ladder, like I said, from recycled content to fully sustainable or biodegradable. A lot of people approach us in the plastics world looking for that green, fully sustainable, biodegradable, compostable plastic, but then they find out the price. So I like to say there's a ladder. And at that top of that ladder might be that fully biodegradable, fully compostable, but there's a lot of rungs on that ladder, so we can give you a green story while not making something, 4 or 5x cost, which, kind of makes it prohibits people from going that route. About the company, we're Bioplastic Solutions in southern Minnesota. The company recently, last summer, celebrated our 25th anniversary in business. We are a family-owned company still. We started in a 23,000 square foot facility in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, and have since, a few years back, moved over to a 65,000 square foot facility in Ellendale, Minnesota. Both small towns that I'm sure no one has heard of, but we're about an hour south of the Twin Cities. Some of what we do is in building and construction. We do a lot in the fenestration, door, and window world. One of my product lines involves retail displays. We make a product called InstaTrim, which is a flexible plastic replacement for that replaces caulk. So it goes around, bathroom and kitchen, and a bunch of different, options for that as well. We also make a product called Snow Fence, which is here up in the northern states in the winter, it runs along highways and buildings to stop the snow from blowing out over the highways and stuff like that. I should mention we're a custom profile plastic extrusion company, which for any of you that don't know, that's basically like the Play-Doh machines when you were a kid, where you press Play-Doh down into the machine and it comes out in a continuous pattern. So that's what extrusion is. The main product I will be talking about today is our BioEdge edge banding. We offer the only fully sustainable, non-petroleum based edge banding on the market. I think I've been doing this. This is my third or fourth one of these, and we did the EPD and LCA to have data to back up claims of other materials being sustainable. That was a huge stepping stone or obstacle in the marketplace for us, where a lot of people would say ABS or polypropylene, it's better than PVC, it's the sustainable option, and the reality is it's still a petroleum-based material. So we started by doing the HPD, and then I met Terry and we were able to do the EPD and additional certifications and go through all of that. She's got listed there the HPD version 2.3. As you can see, it's 100 parts per million, and then it passes lead 4.1 pre-check. It's on the Perkins and Will free list. It's got red list free, C2C restricted list free. So really it is a product that hits all of those nails on the head as far as sustainability goes. And having these certifications allows me to go in and show that in a practical sense without just being lip service.
And Danny, can you just speak one quick second about why there are so many master format sections in your listing showing the same product?
The reason for that is edge banding itself. If you've ever sat at a table that you've seen a plastic strip that goes around the edge of the table, that's how it's used. It's used in cabinetry, it's used in casework. So it fits so many categories because it can be used for so many different things. It is a small component of the overall end product, but it is something, like I said, that fits a great deal of things, especially for architects that are specifying large projects or even small projects as well. So BioEdge edge banding, we started work on it, and it's called the BioBest PLA blend. So it is PLA, which is polylactic acid, versus PVC. It's PVC free. It's 88% plus bio-based material. We made it into BioEdge in the mid-2000s. We have patents on the product. It's a proprietary product. Again, bio content, recycled content. It is recyclable as well. We did the LCA and EPD, as I said, to prove out the advantages over PVC and ABS as green options. It's currently used in a lot of schools, dorms and residence halls, government buildings, healthcare buildings. And the really good news on this for people that understand what edge banding is and people that install it is you can use standard equipment. There's nothing specialized that's needed. You might have to tweak the settings a tiny bit, but the actual equipment that you have to install PVC or ABS edge banding can be used. So this is a little background about the PLA. So BioEdge edge banding made from PLA from corn production. It's also from sugarcane production too, but right now it's primarily from corn. So it's food. It's not food or bioplastic. It's food and bioplastic. So it's not taking a feedstock and stealing it all to make an end product. It actually uses a waste stream of the production of the product. So it's not robbing Peter to pay Paul. The idea is you get from 1 bushel of corn, the corn oil, gluten meal that you see on the left, but you can also get starch or ethanol sweetener or 10.2 kilograms of the biopolymer that's used in our edge banding. This is just a quick one where, like I said, to make sure that it's not lip service, showing the greenhouse gas emissions, including biogenic carbon uptake or the use of primary energy of non-renewable resources. The blue line at the top is the NGO PLA that we use for the end product. And then you can see PVC, polypropylene, LDPE, all these different petroleum-based materials. And you can see second from the bottom down there is ABS, which people like to talk about as the green alternative for for edge banding compared to PVC, and you can see that it's actually far worse than PVC on that list as well. The other good news that we have on this is and this actually kind of came from having the EPD and LCA done in this because it proved it out. We have a partnership with a company called Techniform for offering a full slate of edge banding products. At our facility in southern Minnesota, we've only been able to make solid colors. It takes specialized equipment to be able to produce wood grains and patterns onto the edge banding. So wood grains and patterns now complement our offering of solid colors through our partners, as I said, at Techniform up in Canada. We did a lot of these things, and one back there. There's one more piece I want to hit on that. Sorry. The partnership has allowed zero scrap processing as well. So when they make their edge banding up in Canada, they actually use all of the scrap and recycle it directly back into their product. So when we make our scrap at our facility, we actually ship that up when we ship material or the material up to them as well. So they are able to process our scrap back into their product as well, which essentially is our product. And then improved processing is leading to less emissions spent too on that. The environmental certifications truly set BioEdge apart from the competition as the sustainable option. We learned from creating transparency docs that the data speaks for itself, improving the difference between PLA edge banding against those other petroleum-based ones. And being able to go into a meeting and show them that documentation and show them that we actually have proof of this speaks volumes compared to, like I said, just them saying, well, people say ABS is a green option as well. About the process of doing this, Sustainable Minds was an integral part of walking us through the very detailed process. It takes a while, and there's a lot of data that goes into this, because there's so many steps from making the base resin, and all the way to the end of being on a product in a school or a dormitory or whatever the end is. About the findings, the credibility that was lended for it, that's one of the things that helped get us into Techniform as well as a partner for doing the edge band or for doing the wood grains. This first one is the Bristol Plymouth Regional Technical School in Massachusetts. We worked with HFMH Architects on that. It's our largest scale project to date. There's over 80,000 linear feet of BioEdge edge banding in the classrooms and offices of this school in Taunton, Massachusetts. It is a LEED Silver certified school, as our product does on version 4.1 provide LEED points as well. Billerica High School in Billerica, Massachusetts was our actual first large-scale project, I should say. And we worked with Perkins and Will on this after specifying our project to guide us down the path of environmental certification. So they helped kind of introduce us to HPDs, and which then led us to the EPD as well. We can go to the next one. Caldera High School in Bend, Oregon. This was working with BBT Architects. We've actually done, I want to say, 6 or 7 schools out in the Pacific Northwest. They've been a great partner in providing a sustainable edge banding for casework and educational settings. We, as with Perkins and Will, we're in their materials library for specifying. So it's been great to get these partnerships, and I should say the scale of the projects keeps on growing and growing. So. Transparency as a product selection filter. Product transparency is the only way to validate claims of sustainability that other competitors claim. It offers LEED and other certification points, which you will not get with any of those other petroleum-based materials. We still have to overcome contractors using a product they have never used, but the good news, like I said, is once they understand that if they've used ABS before or they've used PVC, that they don't have to get special equipment. That has been a great help for us. For specification needs, they can reach out directly to me. And like I said, on the solid colors, we would make it at our facility in southern Minnesota. If you need to match a wood grain to a Wilson art or Formica, I can introduce you to our partners up in Canada as well. So like I said, we have that full offering on the table now, which when I've done past presentations for Terry, we have not had that full offering.
That is awesome, Danny. Every year you guys keep growing and adding more cool and large projects. And it's just, I think, a great example to people who are here on the webinar today that, creating an innovative product, a very simple application, but really innovating on the materials, breaks you through the crowd of other competitive offerings. And it's just fantastic to hear the uptake that you guys have received. So we have just a couple minutes left. I'm going to just quickly show you a little demo here. And I want to show you the real-time status reporting. I actually built a quick project of the Mohawk and the Bioplastic Solutions project. There it is. And all I did was I went and I just started this project. I went into the catalog by just adding from the transparency catalog. I looked for their products, selected them, added them to the project. So I already did it. But it's a really great way to see how a manufacturer's products contribute to any of these reporting schemas. So the very first report just shows the project CMF alignment. So it's showing by master format division, what manufacturers you have in the product. You can always link to their listing. You've got the product name that links to the product page on their website. You can see the name of the documents that they have and the impact area contributions that those documents have. So if you're following the CMF and looking to get impact contributions across those 5 impact areas, this is a great visual view for you and your team. And in the material pledge, what we're showing here now is all of the products in the project flow through to the reports in which the products can be reported. So here's the material pledge, and what we're showing is that of the 43 products between Mohawk and Bioplastic Solutions, 36 products contribute to 4 of the reporting categories. And here, this is a summary report. We're showing of the total products in the category, what's the contribution? And this is the summary reporting guidelines from the AIA. Is it none, few, half, most, or all? And then finally, here we are in BPSP. What we've done is we've mapped the master format sections to the categories. So we're saying here in the BPSP report, of the 43 products, 29 contribute to 3 categories. And you can see we've calculated the document contribution scores and the multi-attribute scores. Notice also we are using the exact language from the LEED eligible document list so that there's no confusion about the attributes of that document. And particularly when you export the spreadsheet from this report to go fill in the calculator, this document type matches exactly the name of the document in the pull down. And when LEED does build their online calculator, this report will export directly into the calculator because we're tracking products and documents, but in the calculator, you need to add quantity and cost. So now every single product in the project is going to contribute to one of these 3 and only one. So BPSP is interiors, MEP products. So there's no MEP products in this project because of the products that these guys make. There's no structure and hardscape products. And there are some products actually that do have LEM. But what I want to point out very quickly, if you go to a more heterogeneous project, it's a really great way to start seeing as you put together collections or whole projects very quickly, how are you doing? And enabling you to make better decisions in real time by going and seeing, yeah, we need to get more documents with higher value scores. And in fact, once you get into the MEP and the other report, the requirements are pretty high, that to earn the credit in this category, for example, the eligible document has to have a minimum multi-attribute score of 3, which is kind of hard to get. So knowing how LEED has scored the documents relative to the impact areas that they have felt these documents do a good job of reporting, that is their way of driving better decision making around higher performing, lower impact products. So I want to thank you all, Wendy, Grace, and Danny, so much for participating today. Everyone who has attended, thank you so much. We look forward to having you on upcoming webinars in this series later this year. And of course, use the Transparency Catalog. It's free. There's not even a login. Use it. The manufacturers are counting on you to do that. So everyone have a great day.